Distinguished guests, colleagues, friends all, thank you for the invitation to share a few observations for this, the fifth Wake Up Spain Symposium on Europe's and Spain's labour markets, the climate transition, and key policy challenges in the years ahead. Europe's labour markets have been remarkably resilient over the past 3 years in the face of energy market shocks and inflation, tight monetary policy and geopolitical tensions that have been a key driver of growth. In January this year, the euro area's unemployment rate remained at 6.2%, its lowest level since the introduction of the euro in 1999. However, significant labour and skills shortages have arisen across the euro area, particularly in administrative and support services and also in the construction sector, which could weigh on future growth. And past inflation has had an enduring impact on real incomes for households and workers across the euro area. In the third quarter of 2024, real wages on average across euro area countries were still 4% lower than they had been in the first quarter of 2021. Rising economic and trade policy uncertainty is affecting growth prospects. In our latest OECD Economic Outlook released 2 weeks ago, we revised GDP growth for the euro area down to 1% this year and 1.2% next year, in part as a result of greater economic and trade policy uncertainty. In the current complex global environment, Spain's economy continues to perform relatively well. Our economic outlook projects Spain's GDP to grow by 2.6% this year and 2.1% next year, around twice the rate of the euro area. Spain's unemployment rate declined to 10.4% in January this year, though it continues to be the highest among the 38 OECD member countries. A key priority for Spain, therefore, is to secure continued strong growth and by addressing the slowdown in productivity and wages growth over past decades. In 1995, Spanish workers were 17% more productive than the average worker in the OECD. Today, Spanish workers are 9% less productive than the average worker in the OECD. So from 17% more productive to 9% less productive. A lower productivity translates into lower incomes and living standards than would otherwise be possible. Spain's real wages declined in the years following the global financial crisis and during the COVID-19 pandemic. This decline continued during the period of high inflation between 2021 and 2024. Spain will therefore need to continue to pursue structural reforms to boost productivity, which will help boost jobs and wages. Recent OECD analysis identifies several key priorities. Tackling disincentives for small businesses to grow, including by easing some regulatory requirements that apply after a certain level of revenue has been reached. Strengthening cooperation between researchers and businesses to boost private sector innovation. Addressing large productivity gaps between regions by increasing the mutual recognition of regulations and by further implementing the market unity law to avoid overlapping or inconsistent requirements. Enhancing the effectiveness of education and training to provide young people with the skills they need to pursue job opportunities in the digital era. And promoting the development and diffusion of AI and other digital technologies through skills programs and better targeted public support for research and development. Another key policy challenges looking ahead for Spain, like for other OECD countries, is to optimize the transition to net zero emissions. Across countries, our assessment is that the climate transition is unlikely to have a large effect on the total number of jobs. However, we expect it to lead to significant shifts in jobs across sectors and occupations. High emissions industries, including energy supply, transport services, and energy-intensive manufacturing, will need to transform. These industries employ about 7% of all workers across the OECD and about 6% across Spain. At the same time, New job opportunities will emerge from the electrification of our transport and energy infrastructure and the adoption of renewable generation technologies. Opportunities ranging from a solar photovoltaic installation to carbon trading to retrofitting buildings for energy efficiency. Labour, market and social policy priorities to help workers and households adapt to and participate in the climate transition include effective training programs to facilitate job mobility and help workers reskill to benefit from those new opportunities and be able to participate. Improving wages and working conditions in lower skilled green jobs such as recycling or reclamation, which are often less attractive than jobs requiring similar skills. And targeted support for lower income households who tend to spend more on products with larger carbon footprints, such as energy and food. Spain's Just Transition strategy, adopted in 2019, provides a strong and forward-thinking foundation for these efforts. In closing, while labour markets in Europe, Spain and globally have been relatively resilient, boosting productivity and through productivity wages growth, including by maximising the benefits of AI and digitalisation and optimising the climate transition, are key priorities moving forward. At the OECD, we will continue to support these efforts through our evidence-based contributions and policy advice. My very best wishes for positive and productive discussions over, these past few days looking back, and productive in identifying ways to foster stronger, sustainable and inclusive growth in Spain and beyond moving forward. Thank you.